Hey, this is Judgment Waits. Happy Sunday to you guys. This is the Sunday before elections, and I wanted to talk to you and continue the conversation on elections. Now, I'm going to be talking, and this is going to be directed mostly towards Christians. So if you are not a follower of Christ, not a Christian, I'll get this guy, don't worry. This isn't going to be directed towards you. You can mute me, do whatever. I know a lot of you hate when I talk about Christian stuff and everything like that, but that's me. That's who I am. I'm a follower of Christ. I'm a youth pastor, and I love Jesus Christ, and so I'm going to talk about him because that's a part of my life. Now, like I said, so you can mute me, or you can listen in and maybe gain some perspective on where we come from and everything like that. So I definitely want to encourage you to stay tuned in, though, and ask me any questions that you have or anything like that. I hope that if you're not a follower of Christ, that you feel comfortable on my channel and everything like that, because Christianity is not about cramming your point of view down somebody's throat. Jesus never did that, and there's a jump shot. I'm dedicating that to you, Kingdom Soldier. I think I learned that from watching you, but Christianity is not about cramming your point of view down somebody else's throat. And I want to apply that to politics as well. And that's why I wanted to show you last Friday, the Jesus Freak, who is a follower of Christ, no doubt in my mind. I feel a connection with this guy because I think he's in YouTube for the same reason I am, same reason that a lot of other my friends are in YouTube and everything like that. But he presented a point of view that's kind of different to mine and everything like that. But it wasn't about me not posting it because that's a different point of view or anything like that. That's just a different place that somebody's coming from. And with Christianity and with politics, we're not going to agree on everything. So I wanted to post that because I respect him and I respect where he's coming from. Like I said in my video, I disagree about his conclusion, but that's me, and that's a matter of my conscience. And I kind of want to explain about how I got to where I am and why I vote the way I do and everything like that. Now, I like how the Jesus Freak kind of broke things down to two sides or two main topics. He was talking about his dilemma in this coming election. He aligns himself, he has a more liberal base when it comes to economics. So he is aligned more with the Democratic Party and what they believe. But he has a more conservative, moral, or social, outlook on life. So in that respect, he is aligned with the Republican Party. And I kind of wanted to keep that and keep talking about that. I tend to align myself with the conservatives when it comes to things financially. It probably has a lot to do with my upbringing. I grew up very poor, single mother in a trailer park, where we didn't have a lot of money. So we just by necessity had to be very frugal and very conservative with our money. But, regardless of where that is and where that stands, that is not the deciding factor. Finances or the financial outlook is not the deciding factor of where I vote. Okay, it factors into the equation a little bit, but far more is the moral side of things for me. And maybe that's because I'm a pastor. I don't know, but I tend to look at the issues of the day and to see what the Bible has about those issues of the day. Let me give you an example. Abortion. All right. I believe the Bible calls us to be pro-life and not to be for abortion. Okay. When I read the Bible, that's what I get. So I look at what party best aligns with that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like how, one party may be referred to as the God Party or anything like that. I don't buy into that, and there are things that I really don't like the Republican Party that they do morally and socially. But on the majority of issues, I tend to see myself aligning with the Republican Party. So that usually becomes the deciding factor when I vote. At the end of the day, all right, I could not vote for somebody who I did not believe in what they believed in morally and everything like that, even if it meant something better financially for me. It'd almost be like I was selling my soul. And that's not a biblical commentary or anything like that. That is my conscience. And that might not be your conscience or anything like that. So let me just, clarify that. I'm not saying that is God's plan or God's message or anything like that. That's just how I feel and everything like that. So, that's what makes me lean in this election towards like Romney, and away from Obama. I cannot align myself with President Obama on his moral and social issues. I think this is a tough election for a lot of people. So I just really want to encourage you to be on your knees, seeking God's direction and praying for that, And I'm not, like I said, I'm not all about cramming my point of view down your throat. I'm just telling you how I arrive at the opinion that I have, so check your conscience, see what God is telling you and what direction. There are people that are going to tell you that you shouldn't vote. and everything like that, because the system is corrupt and it's all a farce and everything like that. And I totally understand where those people are coming from. I think though we're responsible for our portion and our responsibility, and I think our responsibility is to vote. Whether or not the people that we elect or anything like that, whether or not they are true or they are, or if it's all a farce or something like that, that's going to be on them. Let's just do what we're responsible for doing, and trust God to hold accountable those people that we elect and put our trust in. And let's also, too, hold accountable the people that we elect. I don't want to see Christians leave the Democratic Party. I want to see Christians influence the Democratic Party. I want to see Christians influence the Republican Party and draw this nation, and everything closer to God. So I'm not about a mass exodus or anything from either party or anything like that. Let's be influencers, though. We're called to be salt and light. Let me tell you something. I don't blame whoever's in the White House or anything like that on why our country is the way it is or anything like that. You know where I put that blame? I put that blame on followers of Christ, true followers of Christ, who should be talking, who should be influential, but we are silent. And let me tell you something. We look just like the culture that is out there today. So how can we influence it away? How can we influence it towards Christ when we don't look like Christ? So I think the bigger issue is we need to get going, Christians. We need to become influencers. We need to turn our country around, and that's only going to happen from spreading the faith. From my faith, my hope is not in the person in the White House to change this nation. My faith, my hope comes from Jesus Christ, and that's why I don't want to argue with other Christians about who to vote for and everything like that. Yeah, I want to put my opinion out there and tell why and everything like that, and hopefully I want to influence some people towards that direction. But you know what? I want to work with those people, and I think I want to be unified with those people, and I want to get everybody on the same page when it comes to us influence our culture. Let me know what you think, though, about what I've said. Voting, I think, is huge and really important. So I really want to encourage you to vote. I really want to encourage you to pray about it, though, and see what God is telling you to do, and go with that. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. Listen to what God's telling you. You're ultimately going to be accountable to Him, but this election is just too important not to vote, something that a lot of people don't realize. One of the most important things, or one of the most powerful things that a president does, is they appoint judges, federal judges, Supreme Court judges. They choose. So the person that you put in the White House, their moral views and their views are going to be the people that they appoint. All right. The next president could appoint as many as 3 Supreme Court justices. I've seen a lot of cases in the Supreme Court that have just driven me nuts, and I have not been in agreement with them. And maybe you have too, as a follower of Christ. Taking prayer out of school, and stuff like that. That was decided in a court. So the person that you put in the White House, they are going to appoint judges that stay for life, or for as long as they want to in there. So we need to be really careful. That's another reason that I tend to stick with the moral issue of being my determining factor of who I vote for, because I know the person that they put in those judge spots, are going to have huge influences and everything like that. So, but once again, be praying for it about it. Once again, don't put all your faith though in the president. Put your faith in Jesus Christ, and let's be the church. Let's be the body of Christ. And let's be about influencing our culture towards Christ instead of away. That is probably the number one reason that I do YouTube. I saw all the commentary out there. My teens were telling me about it, and I started watching it myself. And it's just, there's a lot of great gameplay out there, and there are a lot of good people doing, YouTube and everything like that. But there is also so much garbage out there. I wanted to provide an alternative. I wanted to influence people, towards Christ instead of away. That's one of the main reasons I do the YouTube thing. It's not to get rich or anything like that. Everything for me is not based on how many subscribers I have. Yeah, I look at subscriber counts, but to a lot of people, to a lot of YouTubers, they see people that watch their videos just as people that are going to get them money. you know. And I see these people as an opportunity to tell more people about Jesus Christ, and that's my goal. You know, I know that's not popular. You know, I know that I will never be like the big YouTube persons and everything like that, but I don't really care about that. You know, that's not why I'm doing this. If I was doing it for that reason, I'd never talk about Jesus Christ, and I'd just make it, you know, about whatever. But there's the end of the video. I want to close with one final thing. Regardless of who gets in the White House, let's be praying for them, whether we like them, whether we voted for them or not. Let's be lifting them up in prayer. We don't know what they have to face and what they're going through and everything like that, so let's just be on our knees for them and for our country. But as always, guys, take care and God bless.